fucking go, baby. Alright, check this. I can do that. Is that okay? Maybe. So, we'll do that. Let me unplug everything really quick and show you what I've been doing. I did an hour and 40 of C++ today, which is fine. It's not much, but it's honest work. So, I guess full screen mode, something like this, okay? Okay, pasa away. Alright, so I'm holding a laptop here, this is scuffed. Alright, so I have a cord here that plugs into an Arduino. So I'm going to plug that into the computer. I have the, cam. I have the Arduino IDE here. So I can make it blink, but I can also make it do other stuff that I've found and wrote. So, the goal here, what did he say? Oh, what? Oh, yeah. It's me. Alright. So, what am I doing? Talking about an Arduino here. My goal, I want this. So, at some point I'm going to have to be a hardware guy because I need to figure out how to make nerve gear working. I need to I want Scent to be integrated in the game, so you're playing VR, and you've got these little volume capsules on the side of the headset. Maybe they're integrated in the plastic, and you have to change out like a whole thing that just easy click in, easy click out. Well, I don't know how it'll work. Or maybe it's a box that's somewhere else. I don't know how powerful Scent is. Like, this candle, I could probably light it, and let's see how noticeable it is, how fast. Because the candle, it's only is it force that a candle generates? Something is pushing the smoke up. I guess it's just the density of the smoke. Is it lighter than, I have to light it. If the smoke is lighter than air, what makes the smoke, right here, let's see. Please, I'm trying to light a candle. Ow! Smoke in my eye. Okay. See, that's powerful straight away. I guess that was just a smoke scent, not really the candle, but like whenever I blow this, what is it that's propelling the smoke in the air? Is it just that it's less dense than air, so it travels upwards? Just as in a volume of something, things that are less dense, sounds like just due to growth. The things that are less dense, that have more mass per area, are heavier pieces of individual matter. Therefore, they get pulled closer to the fucking floor due to gravity. I guess it sounds like that makes sense. Well, we have this Scent shit. I'm picturing a VR headset right here, and then you've got a little tube either inside of plastic so you don't fuck with it, or maybe it's just cord right here. Cause, I mean, if you're in VR, you're never really touching right here unless you're taking the thing off. So that's also, I didn't consider that. You have to take it off. Excuse me. Well, it's right there, and I want to go into a cave and then smell the nastiness of the cave and put me into fight or flight like it's... I mean, I imagine if I was on a murder scene or I walked into a building and there was just the scent of blood, it would probably be automatically unsettling, and it would stir up all the I don't know, the generations of craziness in my human genome, in my DNA, in my history. So I'd probably feel something if I smelled the stench of blood really strong, and my heart would start pounding. I want that adrenaline rush of smelling something, or maybe the immersion of walking outside into a forest and you just feel the air's just fresh. There's just like this tree-y smell to it. It just smells like nature. It's good. So you walk out of the building into the forest or into the town, and you smell some kind of smokiness, or you put that campfire down and you finish it in the game, and it starts boiling or like roiling the flames. Oh, and you can smell the smoke, and then maybe there's like some sort of general food smell overall, just some sort of salty smell that most food, some kind of smell that smells like food. Maybe like the smell of baked bread, or I don't know how you figure that stuff out, or what the side effects of having people smell that shit over time is. Like 30 seconds on for 30 seconds, and then 4.5 minutes off or 5 minutes off. Repeat. I don't know. You're smelling something. It like would emit it for a while here until your smell's used to it, and then you get used to the vibe, and then it stops, and maybe it quits early. Well, that stuff's on the mind. I'm learning C++, but I also want to experiment with making real shit happen in a game, eventually in Unreal Engine. So you walk out of the building and you pass through this collision volume. Once you leave the building, or let's say once you enter the building, or once you enter some area, once you go from area A to area B and you pass through this collision volume, when you pass into it and you've officially entered the next area, so here it is, boundary, area B, area A. There's a volume right here. When you officially enter area B, 100%, you're in this volume, it's right here, you're in area B. The smell from area B starts emitting, and you smell the area. If you leave, then it quits. But if you stay, it emits for a while. And then after a long enough time, maybe it's 30 seconds or something, it stops, and it's still looping, but it's pausing. It's got a delay, and then it'll start again. So maybe it's 30 seconds on, 5 minutes off. I don't know. Maybe it's 5 seconds on, 5 off. I don't know what it would be. Something that wouldn't be super noticeable. It would just be gently just wafting it down so you just get that feeling. But it's often enough for you to feel like it's constant, and not just like you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you get this burst of like town scent again. You're like, bro, did I just enter a new area or something? No, it should be constant because you're in the town. So, and eventually you have sub-scents and whatnot, like scents for a particular area or something. I don't know. I haven't thought that far. But, so this guy is an Arduino, and it's a microcontroller, so it can do things and be controlled by a pretty intuitive program. It has its own IDE, so you just go in and it's basically just straight up C++, and it uploads this shit, this code, and then I guess executes on the board, whatever that means. I don't really know how. So I guess it means that there's some sort of computer here. There's some sort of memory or something where it's storing that. Maybe it's this big thing. This looks closer to a stick of memory than anything on here. Or maybe it's this 16,000 thing. I don't know. Maybe that's the processor. I don't know. But it can do things. So somehow we can make this thing do things with code right here. So I can type in shit and make it do things. Well, so last night I did a little testy. I installed the software. I connect this bad boy. Oops. Alright, I forget the camera's in this fucking weird angle. So we just plugged it in. Now it's on. It says on right there. And then L for LED, light, I guess. L for light says on. And I'm going to sit that down. And then I have this relay. And so relays are things that have power in, power out, and a gate, a way of determining whether power should be flowing through or should be withheld and not flowing through. So you could say, maybe like redstone in Minecraft, you have redstone going up to a door, and maybe you turn the redstone on and it opens the door. It lets power flow into the door. Or maybe the door is always on, and then you turn the redstone on to turn it off, and then shut the door. So you want it on during daytime hours and off automatically when the daytime sensor says no light, it's nighttime. Shut the door. So the idea here is to use this Arduino and code on my laptopper to code to control the Arduino to give this thing signal to either let this power flow through or not and withhold it. By default, it's going to be set to no power. It's only on when we want it on. So, just in case something happens, it should just be off. And it should be off more than normal. After, I want the output, where the power is going, and where the signal is turning power, or is either allowing power through or not allowing power through, to go to... ordered a bunch of shit. These are atomizers, which are basically a little disc, and it's got some sort of, what is it? It's like some kind of ceramic piezo ceramic, P-I-E-Z-O or something, C-Z-O maybe, piezo ceramic, some sort of ceramic shit. So electricity somehow like vibrates this piece of metal, and when you have a thin piece of metal against a fluid and it vibrates really fast, it seems like it gets hot at that very, very surface. It's hard to tell, but it gets hot. And that liquid, it feels like the liquid right close to it, just this tiny little bit that's touching it, evaporates just bit by bit. And because it's doing it at such a rate, I don't really know when. I guess when you evaporate something fast, it goes into the air. So when water's really hot, more of it goes into the air. Because like if I open up this bottle, surely some amount of water is evaporating right now, but I don't see it because there isn't much. Just like, I don't know, even if it's like super humid outside in Florida, you can just breathe outside and fucking see the air. It's not cold. So, and then maybe, I don't know why cold would make it visible, but chemistry major here. Okay. So, the Arduino controls whether the relay lets power in or not. Or through, rather, it controls whether it lets power through. And on the other side, the power goes into these atomizers. So either the atomizer is on or it is off. If it is on, because it is in water, or it's like over water, water vapor will come out the top. And eventually I could make that be anything. Soy sauce or something. I have to worry about... I'm going to have to figure out a better way of doing the vaporization, because if you do water, okay, cool. There's no collection on the metal because it's a metal circle and water touches it, or liquid touches it, and then it evaporates really quick. And the metal is surrounded in this little rubber thing with a gap between the metal and the rubber, meaning that the water touches the metal, evaporates, and then travels up the channel between the metal and the rubber. So it goes around the metal and out and up. So there's rubber like this and rubber like this. It's a circle that goes around it. So the water comes up and it's forced into gaseous form, and then comes out the sides, around and up. And so you see vapor coming out, just like a diffuser. Here it is, same thing. It would work like this. Oh, yeah, I have the thing. Here we go. This one I accidentally broke on recording, but... So here's the metal thing. And then I took off the rubber washer, but the rubber washer goes around it. And then you have metal, and then the washer. And then there's a little channel that the gas can fit between the metal and the washer and travel around and out and upwards. And then there's a little circuit board that either receives power or does not receive power. And that thing has an on and off button, but the ones I got... I want to do more of this tomorrow, but I may as well open it up unless I can't. Yeah, I can. Couldn't tell if my fingers were going to be strong enough or not. Okay. There it is. Not to be handled by unauthorized personnel. Holy shit. Look at that. Here we go. There's a little sponge thing. So you put it in water, and then, or in liquid, and then the liquid travels up the sponge thing. And then at the very top, you'll have a little bit of liquid. And that little bit of liquid will touch the tip of the metal and will evaporate and come up. So I don't have to sit this metal thing straight in the liquid. I can limit how much it evaporates, hopefully, by having less water touch it at a time. So it's not fully covered in some huge amount. The only thing is, if I start evaporating stuff that isn't water, scented things, soy sauce, something that when you heat it up there is sediment left over. That sediment may accumulate on the metal, which might inhibit how much might fuck it up. It might fuck it up. That's what'll happen. So, okay, I accidentally opened this thing. Well, not accidentally, but all right, let's put it back. So, C++ controls microcontroller Arduino allows or disallows power through a relay into placeholder atomizer on the other end where wires come out. So using C++, I can control when that atomizer turns on and turns off. When it's on, when it's off, nothing. So I needed to figure that out, and I also needed to figure out if I could execute this stuff from the command line, from command prompt, so that in Unreal Engine, unless there's some special way of bypassing it or some special way of communication, I needed to be able to go here, open up command prompt, and open this bitch up, and then run that shit. That way, I can do it from a game, because the game isn't going to have that shit built in inside its own code. It needs to somehow talk to the Arduino, at least for now. So, the answer is what I've already said. So the solution here, or at least steps to it, probably about halfway done with the main idea. Arduino's plugged in. I need signal. So signal is going to go into channel 5, which is a signal, a digital pin. And you can let power through, or you can give signals to things. And I guess things are, electric things like receiving signals and are okay with the signal they get. So you can turn on whatever with it. It's weird because back in high school, I had this app on my phone where it would shoot, I guess, infrared radiation at a computer, or at a TV rather, and you could change the channel. But not all of the frequencies worked, so you had to figure out and scroll through each one. But here, the signal's the signal. And this thing was happy with it as is, so I'm surprised I don't have to like try specific pins or fuck around with it, or I don't know, I guess there's just some universal signal. I don't really understand that. Okay, and then we have the negative pin, probably. And that will go into ground because I'm not super sure. It seems like negative equals ground. That's how it is for car batteries and stuff. Oh, there are 2 grounds. Okay. And then power will go to 5 volt, but check this. In, out, in, out, in, out. So in, this thing lights on, and you can see that power is on. There's a little LED right in front of my finger, and it says power. It's on now, which means this thing has power. Which means, depending on which of these prongs I plug in, I can set it to automatically to let power through. Gate is always open. It's daytime hours. And then I can set it to nighttime hours and prevent power. Or I can set it to default nighttime hours. By default, don't prevent power. And then open. So power can either let power through, or signal can either let power through. So not letting it through by default, letting it through with power, or by default, let it through and with power, or with signal, not let it through. So it is powered now. I don't have it plugged into the atomizer, but that will be, maybe I'm hoping tomorrow. It will be tomorrow. So the next step is actually make the thing do stuff. So first, I can go into, I guess we'll make the cam smaller again. KO. Doing this on the laptop because I don't want to fuck up the computer, my PC. So I was looking this up to see what this guy was doing. So I think we're good now. I'll bookmark it though. KO. Guess I don't need anything else. Cool. The video helped a lot. I have a couple things. I have blink here, and blink basically there's 2. It looks like there's 2 main things for the Arduino. There's something you can do once. So like you can set variables and set some sort of state to happen one time. So maybe like when the Arduino turns on, I need to initialize these pins, because if I assume that this Arduino has a bunch of features and they're all off by default, I have to set which ones I want on when I use this thing. So, what do we need to turn on? Well, signal and power, but maybe some of these are on by default. I'm not sure. So, or maybe, I think maybe this is just, I think this is changing how the pin works, like allowing us to be able to change it. I'm curious to see what happens if I remove this. So we have LED built in, which is just this LED, I guess, here. And then we can specify the output, which is basically a Boolean. It sounds like either true or false, but in this case it's high or low. High being on, low being off. So we are turning the LED on, and then waiting 1 second, 1,000 milliseconds, and then turning the LED off. We're digitally writing to it, which is how we communicate with it and update it, and then waiting again. So it should be on, wait a second, off, wait a second, repeat. So if I upload, it is now doing on, off, on, off. And then say if I comment this out, oh shit, if I just do that, it just comments it out automatically. Okay. And then upload again. Oops. Okay, the comment's fucked? Yeah, I thought so. Well, I wonder why it, okay. Oh, because then it's commenting out the end of the loop function, so it's seeing that the comment is not terminated. Okay, makes sense. Alright, and I'm just going to upload it. Fuck compiling, it's fine. Alright, now it's back on. Hold on, maybe? Hold it. Upload. Okay, so now it's not doing shit. And then we can remove this back. And then upload again. And now it's back on. On, off, on, off. And I think it stays at whatever state it was. So if we, like, if I time it now, if I just comment this out. On, and then do it right there. It happens whenever it activates. So it happened to do it when it was off there, so yeah, the timing was wonky, so it was off, so now it stays off. I think that's how she goes. Cool. So I can do that. Last night it was a super cool feeling because I've never turned on and off machines with code. I've never fucked around with robotics or I don't know. This is all in the realm of like robots and shit to me. It's all news. 25, but I feel so old. Like I don't know anything. I'm a little dummy, ignorant. So we haven't done anything with the relay just yet. So we have, the relay's kind of, I guess I have the wires going kind of in an interesting way. But yeah, so there's a signal and then there's power and shit. So it has power, but now we need to turn on and off signal. Let power always come through. Maybe we can turn that on and off. But maybe we leave it and we just do the signal because the power is maybe not hurting anything. So the next step was to find out, well, one, how I could do this from code. And the way that I can do this from code is we can go to the old desktopper and then arduino and then just copy this and then CD for command directory. I don't even fucking remember, honestly. And then we can do arduino. This is the wrong one. That is where the files are located. This, we need the command line interface. It's a separate program, and we run it from command line. Oops, this needs to be CD. Nope. Okay, can't. Can I press? Okay, I can't even delete. All right, good. I can hold that. All right, that works. Oh, I think I can control. All right, that deletes the whole thing. Control backspace. All right, so I can do CD, and then go there. Then we can do Arduino, and that will run the command line interface of Arduino. And it sounds like I can probably make some sort of text document that automatically runs this, finds this, and runs this. So it'll be like execute this, and then this, and then this, and so on. So it'll be like execute this, and it'll run all the shit. So it'll find where this file is, the command line interface, and then run the Arduino command line interface, and then do something else. What is the something else? What we can do Arduino -CLI, and then we can do compile, and then the build or board, and the board is Arduino /AVR Uno. Don't really know why. And then I think the only thing I'm missing is the actual program. And the location is here. And we're going to do blank and blink. Blank is the same shit as blink. It just turns the light. It stops it from alternating on and off. And then, oh, hold on. Main file is missing. Oh, I didn't say what the file was. So we can say blank or blink. So we'll do blank, and this will compile it, but it doesn't matter because it's already valid. It's already basically validated. And now what we can do is I can go back, and instead of compile, I can update the build. All right, so update, so Arduino command line interface, trying to understand this at a low level, or at least comprehensively. We're updating it now, so we need to upload to the board, and I think that's what it is. It's update, not upload. Never mind, it is totally upload. Update was something else earlier. Okay, so we are updating. What are we updating? We're updating the board, and I guess these are just parameters. So command line interface, cool. We're doing something about the Arduino. What are we doing? We are doing update. We are putting stuff in the Arduino to change what its behavior is, because it can only do one sketch at a time, sounds like. Okay, which Arduino? Okay, so the Arduino is board Uno. That's what this guy is. Arduino, AVR, I don't know what AVR is. Uno. And then -P is the port, and in this case we're using COM5. I only know that because I saw it in the IDE, which is here. Arduino COM5. Now, I think this will do blank. Never mind. There was an error. Shorthand, did I take out? No, hold on. Update -B. Shorthand flag B in -B. Okay. I don't know what I messed up. Let's see. So there's maybe the order or something is wrong here. Arduino? Oh, I think did I do update instead of upload? Yeah, I guess I did. I guess I pressed up again. I thought I had done upload, but maybe I'm just retarded. I mean, I already know that, but okay. Yeah, it looks like I didn't do that. All right, so Arduino COM5, and this needs to say upload. Oh, it's showing. So we're uploading. No? No go? Okay. So how about we do instead, we'll do blank. Oh, I bet you it's blank, but it's commented out. Yes, it is. Okay. And this, I guess, saves live, seems like. So we can just do it again. Blink. There. Hold. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I actually have to compile first. So we're going to compile first. Blink. And then after, we will upload. Okay, it did need to be compiled again, so it's not live. It was that I had, oh, duh, I compiled it earlier. So I had commented this out so I could change other shit in here, and it doesn't change anything because it hasn't been saved yet. It hasn't been compiled. So, has not been made into a translation unit. Sounds like maybe. I don't know if that's how this still works. So, we've compiled this. it was commented out, so we compiled it and ran it. Nothing happened because this was commented out, so it's not doing shit. It said, hey, the pin is changeable. We can do stuff with the LED, but we're not. We're not actually doing anything right now, so it's off. But then I uncommented it, and then recompiled it again, and then ran it, and then boom, so we're uploaded. So cool. I used code just now to turn this on, and now we could do the same thing, but I could do blank, which is the same one, but it's basically just commented out. Or I could recompile and do that, but it probably makes sense to have an on button and an off button. So now it's blank. Now it is off. I guess technically it is on only. If I open up blank, will it just open up as a sketch? That'll be cool. I'm gonna turn the setup part off, and then let's see. Okay, so it doesn't have it. So there's blink and there's blank. If we open up blink, I don't want to loop and just keep on turning it off. So whatever, it'll stay on for now. It's not a big deal. I don't know what this red button is. Uh-oh. Okay, it seems like it resets it or something. It turned the light off for a sec. Okay, so we can turn it on and off using the command line interface now. Now, I want to fuck around with this guy right here. Do some writing. Turn the signal on and let power through, and that will turn the red button on. Or leave the signal off and not let power through. So if I plug stuff into it now, and I plugged it into the NO and COM ports, COM is just the default signal. It needs to have a wire. So what matters is either NO or NC. So normally closed or normally open. So I would want to use normally closed, and then I would use signal to turn it on. I want it to be off by default, not on. I don't want to turn power. I don't want to use signal to turn it off. I want it off. No smell. And then I want to use power to turn it, or signal to turn it on and let there be smell, and then turn it back off. So I'd probably be alternating between running one file and then running another. Unless I can make this more complicated. I don't know. Or have a separate function in here. I'm not sure. But it sounds like I can only run this one thing, and it's just one loop, and it does whatever it's doing. But maybe I can make it good enough to, like, maybe I can... I can't change the sketch. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. And I'm tired, and I only have 6 hours and 40 minutes, so I have to wake up, so I've already fucked my sleep over. But maybe worth in this instance. Okay, so now we have some different stuff here. So we have pin mode. We're saying, hey, this signal pin, actually, I'm going to make this be 5 now, because I'm trying a different one. Signal pin 5, we can use this guy. He's usable, okay? So we can update him. What we're going to be looping is turn him on, let signal through, or we'll turn the signal on, which will show, and nothing's plugged in, so we don't actually know whether power is going through or not. I think by default it's probably normally open, so power goes through. And then we can wait 2 seconds and then turn it off and stop power from coming through by turning the signal on. So right now it has power, but it doesn't have a signal. So I can compile this guy, verify. All right, now I will just turn all this shit off so you can see that it's all just crazy command line interface thingies. And then we can do this, but instead we can do relay test. Run. Look at this. It's doing. Look at that. Look at that shit. And it's physical. There's something going on in this, and it's vibrating, and it's turning. It's like using some sort of lever or something to flip a switch. I don't really know how it works, but the back is kind of cool. I guess you don't need to see the camera anymore, or the screen. So now, I have an Arduino that is controlling this guy, this relay. So signal is not going through. Signal is now going through. Signal is not going through. Sorry. Signal is off power, not going through. Signal is on power, going through. No smell. Smell. No smell. Smell. And I can make it be however long, change the interval, and whatever. And then it sounds like the alternate is I can have another thing called off, and then I can upload off, and then it will compile. And it actually instantly stopped the second we did that. And now it is on blank. And then I could now do blink. All with just some arrow keys. I'm just using arrow keys to fucking... Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Alright, we'll do G fucking G, dude. Alright. So we're on blink now. We're blinking. Oh, and I press arrow. Oh, well, fuck it. Alright, I'm just going to type. It's easier. Alright. Blank now. It just ran. And now it's not looping anymore. Or, yeah, it's not doing anything because there's nothing in the loop. And then now we're doing relay test. This is a relay. Now we're on. And now we can go down back to blink. And now we're just blinking. And now we're going to blank. Boop. Fuck yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to connect the atomizer here and put it in some liquid. And it seems like that might be a straightforward way of fucking having this thing work. I mean, I could do it now, but I really don't want to fuck my sleep up any more than I already have. So, it's worth it. I feel like a fucking wizard. It's a fucking magical feeling plugging something into my computer. And, I mean, this is like $20 worth of shit here total. I hear there's more. This is like the wires too, $5, maybe 25-ish, max 30. 5, 10 maybe for the relays, but they gave me too many. Couldn't get any cheaper. I could do one, but it'd be like half the price of 4. So 10 for 4, 5 for 1. Fuck it. One breaks, I need another. And then the atomizers for another 10. And then Seth, my buddy, convinced me to get a wireless version of the Arduino, seems like. So maybe I don't have to have it plugged in and have like some extendo cord, because this is a tiny ass cord. I mean, it's seriously like that long. It's not enough. It can't even touch the floor from my computer. So I can have it wireless and then have it on the desktop. Excuse me. Alright, I think that's the strat. Shit works. Taking a picture of this. Then I already took videos of this earlier.
It's cooking, baby. On, off, boom.
Fucking go, dude. Let's go! Come on! Let's go, dude! Got extra wires and shit. Man. Just know I'm gonna be the one who's the fucking VR king. Holy. With a bunch of collaboration from other people for show. These researchers are gonna have to help me out, man. Because I have a feeling that I don't know. I don't know if it's possible or how accurate simulating smell is. Because maybe it turns out that having people smell... I guess I just unplug it. I guess that's the strat. I don't know how healthy it'll be. I mean, you find organic version or like non-synthetic versions of shit, so you're not like inhaling Red 40 or bleach or something that's gonna kill your ass. But so there might be real options. Maybe a all natural shit, like literally the smell of scented bread boxed in, and we just release a little bit at a time. And then maybe, I don't know. But assuming that it makes sense to, well, I guess I'll just leave the shit working. I'll just leave her connected. It's fine. Fine with me. What am I saying? I don't know. It'd be cool if I could just simulate shit. I want to just be able to put the headset on and be here. Because the main things are the walking in the game needs to not feel like walking, or the VR treadmill needs to get good, which it is not. It's okay, maybe. So we need walking to be better. Movement, we need to be able to restrict people's movements in real life. So if you run, if somebody summons an ice wall in front of you in game, we need a way to make you absolutely not able to cross that empty space in real life, because there's in the game a fucking ice wall blocking you from walking through there. If you're standing in one spot, I'm standing here, and I'm right here, and I'm about to fucking sock this guy in the face and dodge. I need to be able to feel the impacts and hurt, but force, not just like sensation and pain or something. It needs to be like, I don't know how that works. If someone else is right here in some other space, I shouldn't be able to be here. So it'll be weird if someone spawns into the same space as someone and you have that set up, because then what happens? Who gets forced out of nowhere? Do you both get like forced out of the space? How do you make that immersive? I don't know. Single player games only, I guess, and no multiplayer. But how do you make it so like a goblin's walking in this room right here and he's about to freaking hop on me and start stabbing my ass? How do I actually feel the weight and have to like fucking shake his ass off and throw him off, get the fuck up and then go? How do I feel that? I don't know. But some of it at least starts with smell, because that would be cool. And there are some startups and other companies. OVR technology is one of them. Look kind of scammy. But just, I don't know, the website's just shit. There's like one or two more. One that has a product for like fucking $3,000. Another that has, so OVR you can't buy as far as I can tell. Another one is like $3,000. Another one is like, and it's a prepackaged box with like 8 smells. And then not a mainstream one, a startup, so it's probably expensive and tough to create. But it can't be that much, because, I mean, I could figure this shit out here, maybe. Well, maybe not. I'm going to ignore that. I'm tooting my own horn too much. I shouldn't be. It just seems easy. It seems like you have 7 atomizers lined up, or 8 for 8 cents, and then, oh, when this happens, all you have to do is run the right code, and then boom. But maybe there's a whole bunch of cost and time to make it so that shit's alive. Maybe the smells are expensive and hard to produce. Maybe the shit's made out of something that's really strong and sturdy. Maybe the technology had custom printed circuit boards that are really expensive and reliable and all this shit. So maybe it's like, okay, $3,000. Fuck, dude. All right, it's good. But, oh yeah, I think it has things that blow it towards you too, but that's the tough part. Either you emit enough smell for it to be noticeable in a room for sure, instantly, so you enter the cave and it's just right there. It's not like you enter the cave and you're walking and then you slowly start to smell it. You're like, bro, it should smell like shit right away. What if you walk into a cave and you want to smell that irony, whatever, of corpses and stuff, because a fight happened right at the cave, or you left the cave as you were fighting your way out and you got away, and then you come back later with your boys, you should be able to see and smell the shit that was going on earlier. You see the corpses right there, but you can't smell them yet, because it's taking that little thing forever to pump the iron smell. That's why I think mounting it here makes the most sense. But this is all just a prototype, so same shit. All we have to do is take that atomizer thing, mount her here, have the fluid be inside like this, and have it drip through, or be atomized downwards, or maybe there's a little tube, and then the vapors just come out, because you can push vapors through a tube, probably, right? And then, boom, that's it. Have the scents lined up here, little capsules, and then have them combined to some sort of mixing unit to mix them up. Because having each smell standalone limits how many smells you have. What are you going to have, 50 fucking capsules? How about pick like 10 main ingredients and then maybe make 50 smells from them? And then you have a whole lot more. You've got like multiple different foods, multiple smokes, blood, combat, the smell of steel, a blacksmithing area, rain, forest, volcano-y, cave, all kinds of different smells. All from some primary ingredients on maybe 4 here and 4 here, and then some tubes that are 5 and 5. and then some tubes that bring them to like some little mixing area to figure out the ratios that's already known and calculated. And then it just just makes just as much as you need, and that's it. Rinses the thing with water so you don't smell any old scents. So it'll rinse it out and just atomize water into the air so you don't smell it. And then just to get rid of all the excess. So whenever you do a scent, it'll finish off with some excess. It'll do a scent and then excess. So you kill a goblin, it's the goblin scent, and then rinse it off with water to get rid of the rest. That way, anytime you trigger another scent, you don't have to wait for the goblin scent to go away. You just go straight to that new scent because the shit's already clear and clean. Good to go. But you put them here, mix them up, and then boom, and then just atomize it right here, just so it's live, it's infinite. The first scent technology was like fucking a long ass time ago, like decades and decades ago. And I was reading on Wikipedia, and this guy had a movie. I don't even know if it was color picture or what back then, but he had scent come up from like around the chairs. I don't really know how it happened. It couldn't be that long ago. It had to be like 2000, or maybe it was 1990 or something like that. Technology, some sort of like C language is fucking 45 years old or something at least. So, or C++, like I think like 1980s. So if he had programming, surely he could have some sort of little levers open up and then have some sort of scent going. Same shit here. I mean, surely this technology existed, or some of it, maybe not. I don't know. Circuit boards, are those 40 years old? But people complain that the scents weren't live. So like something would happen, gunpowder, and they don't smell the shit for like 20 seconds or something because it slowly wafts into the air, and then it's shit, and then maybe it wafts all over to one side of the room, and these people are just stuck with all the gunpowder smell. Meanwhile, the other people get the updated shit because it blows this way, the natural fan or the natural air movement of the room, because there's a hallway over here and it opens up, so it gets sucked down that way. And maybe the people in the back are screwed because the scent leaves them instantly. There's all of these fucking issues there. And it would be fixed if it was mounted right here, or close, or on the roof, and then it comes down, and then it's right there. But then, do you need a way to remove the current scent? Does it permeate the room and then stay? Because if it's strong enough for you to be like, holy shit, I'm in a cave. Maybe when you leave the cave, it still smells like a cave for a long ass time. How do you fix that? Do you suck it up in between? It seems easier to just put it right here, and then you emit just enough for the nose to pick it up. Other people in the room may or may not notice. And then, once you're out of the area, boom, it just stops. So you do a little bit, rinse with water, wait. A little bit, rinse with water, wait. The nose eventually acclimates to whatever the scent is, and then you don't even need to do it anymore. Maybe you do it every now and then, whatever. And then you leave the area, you go somewhere else, and then it's already been rinsed. Next smell, rinse, okay. Or next smell, stop, he just left the area, rinse, wait, and then boom, just keep repeating. Seems like a good idea, I don't know. That scent is interesting to me. I don't know how important it would be, but it sounds like it would be pretty immersive. I mean, we have touch, we have sight, and we have sound. Literally, the touch is a hard part. The touch isn't there, but we have sight and sound. Good. Perfect. Touch, so taste doesn't really matter. For now, it'd be cool. But man, if I could fucking smell where I'm at, going here, I'm like, oh, God, man, it's just, or a bar, a tavern, and it smells like a tavern, it smells like food, it smells, maybe there's warm, maybe the soup gets just a little bit warm, just a little bit, like a fucking half a degree, something noticeable, but not gonna make me sweat. And boom, I smell some of that. Oh man, that's just sight, hearing, and then scent. Taste can pause, and then what else? Touch just needs to be better. But people are figuring that out for gripping and stuff. But the physics and pushing and all that, I don't know. I don't even know if you need that. I mean, you could just have pain. So like shocks or something that feels like. Seth brought up the, what is it called? Like pregnancy cramp kind of things. So you feel direct electrical stimulation that doesn't feel like a shock. It just feels like a fucking, like you just got, I don't know, punched in the arm or something, but infinitely harder in the abs. You could have that hooked over all over the body, And then just depending on the damage you take, you basically get fucking bruised. I'm down with that. I'll take it. You get slashed across the back, and then all the electrodes just light up. Oh, God! And you gotta fucking turn around and fight through it. That's what I want. When you play my game, you're gonna come out knowing how to fight. Because I know how that shit works. And you're gonna have to fight for real. You're gonna come out a skilled, bladed warrior, good with your hands, maybe grappling and like manipulating shit. And there's physics, and you have to. How do I make that? How do I make it so that I have to, make it so that there's an actual weight to the enemies, not just you have to move so hard IRL to pull the guy, or the sword. You have to slowly move it because your character isn't strong enough to just swing it like this. You actually have to slow down and pretend like it's heavy IRL. Bro, but I could just do this IRL. I want to limit the IRL to the game. That is where the immersion is. Limit the smell to smell what's in the game. Limit the vision to be what's in the game. Limit the audio to what's in the game. That's how you change the environment. You have to limit yourself to that environment. Because when there's dissonance between the two and there's a conflict, then you're like, bro, I'm not immersed. I hear my fucking sisters yapping in the other room, dude. I'm in a damn isolation chamber in this game. I'm not immersed at all. I hear people yapping right there. Hey, it's time for dinner. So, I gotta figure that out. I don't know. But, okay, more tomorrow on the atomizer.